In agribusiness, despite customer complaints, the Chicago Mercantile Exchange says it plans to implement higher fees as planned. Customers have been very vocal about their disapproval of CME Group's plans to increase fees for traders. CME announced last week it would increase transaction fees for almost all of its major products, including energy, grains, and metals. Well, John Deere posted fourth quarter earnings this week. The company says income rose 17% in the last quarter of the year, and full year earnings reached a record $3.5 billion. Looking forward, sales don't look quite as good due to the expected lower farm incomes. Deere forecasts worldwide sales of both ag and turf equipment to drop 6% in 2014. Exports of U.S. beef this year are running ahead of the same time last year. As we just showed you, there's been a big increase in exports to Japan, even though the amount is still behind what was being shipped before the BSE scare of 2003. The U.S. Meat Export Federation says there's been a big increase not only to Japan, but Mexico and Hong Kong. As such, all U.S. beef exports are up 1% in volume from last year. Pork, however, is not having the same success. While exports are higher to China, the U.S. has seen its share of pork exports to Russia decline. Overall, pork exports are down 5% in volume. In this week's Pro Farmer Profit Briefing, we focus on the pork market. Senior Marketing Editor Brian Grady and Digital Managing Editor Julianne Johnston joins us now from the Pro Farmer Studios in Cedar Falls, Iowa.
Julianne, we've got record hog weights, over 281 pounds per hog in Iowa, southern Minnesota region. We've also got rising market-ready hog supplies. So we're getting more pork per animal and more animals. What's that mean to the hog market right now?
Well, we've seen a big slide in lean hog futures, and the cash hog market's been under pressure recently. And seasonally, Brian, this market should continue to erode into the first of the year until we see a little bit of easing of supplies.
Yeah, and when we do get those increase in supplies, it puts more pressure on the demand side of the market. And as a result, we now need to chew through more supplies. It looks like to me, and just based on the historical prices, that pork is still relatively cheap compared to beef, even though we have high pork prices. So that's the good news. What kind of things are we seeing on the demand side of things, at least domestically?
We've seen some really strong pork movement. Packers are moving a lot of pork through October and continuing this month. Pork prices at around $90 compared to choice beef values around $200 to $210 is just a really good value for a consumer when they're at the meat case.
Right, now that's the good news on the demand side. The somewhat disappointing news is on the export side of things, and there we continue to lag, running below a year ago. Talk a little bit about that in terms of where we need to see an increase, what the key markets are that could give us that boost as we move into 2014.
The latest data we have from USDA is in September, when pork exports as a term in volume and value both declined 5% over a year ago. We're seeing strong demand still from China. Japan, there's more competition for that Japanese market. And, we're just not shipping any pork to Russia. And that's making a big difference right now.
Right. I think that, Russia, China, South Korea, those are probably going to be the key markets as we move forward. But as it looks right now, USDA still has us projected to increase our exports in 2014, and that's probably going to be the biggest difference in terms of price perspective as we move into the new year. For Julianne Johnston and all the Pro Farmer editors here in Cedar Falls, Iowa, I'm Brian Grady.
Attend a Pro Farmer Profit Briefing seminar near you. Visit www.profarmer.com for the latest seminar schedule.